You've probably heard of character arcs before, but if the concept is very confusing to you, don't worry. I have a super simple formula for creating a satisfying character arc. Hey guys, I'm Marilyn and welcome back to my channel. So today I am giving you 5 tips, well actually just one, on how to create a super simple character arc. Now this isn't a video that is going to dive deep into the different types of arcs because there are quite a few. It's very scientific, people have written books about it, but that's not what this video is for. This video is for the people who really want to write a character arc but feel like they don't know what the fuck they are doing. So here is one way to do it that is super simple. First things first, where does your character start? What are their main personality traits? What do they do for a living? What are their ambitions and dreams? And most importantly, what is their big character flaw, their unrealized potential? For example, let's say your main character is very self-centered and childish. We'll call this point A. Now, let's work in reverse a little. Where your character ends up should be the opposite of A. So no, I'm not saying that a character who is super angry at the beginning should now be a meek little lamb at the end. It means that that flaw that you have identified under A is something that your character has worked on and has gotten past. They are now fulfilling their true potential. Let's call this point Z. Now, when you look at our example about self-centeredness and childishness, your character has by the end learned to respect other people's needs and interests, and they've become a bit more mature. That is the goal of the arc, for that character to reach their full potential by overcoming that big flaw. This doesn't mean that your character is completely flawless by the end. It just means that the one thing that you identified that the character's worked on has actually gotten better. So take point A and make it shinier, healthier, and better. Now think which plot points or events can happen for your character to get from point A to point Z. The first of these events is usually the inciting incident, let's say point B, where your character is forced from their regular life and out of their comfort zone and will embark on a journey that will teach them things about themselves and about life. Your character can't change overnight. The inciting incident can't be the only thing that happens for your character to change from A to Z. So you have to think, what could happen to this character to make them reevaluate their way of thinking and their way of living? Perhaps they meet someone who helps them understand a different ideology. Perhaps they fall in love. Maybe they go to war. Maybe they are forced to take responsibility for something that they never thought they would have to do. Whatever works for your book, the possibilities are endless. You need to have a series of events where it makes sense for a character to change in the way that you want them to change in order to get to point Z. So with our example, the character could meet a love interest who is extremely compassionate, and through spending time with that person and seeing the way that he or she interacts with others and helps others could change that main character. Perhaps your character goes through a big traumatic event or they lose someone and they become more mature because of it. The next beat that you have to hit if you want to do this type of character arc is the breaking point. The breaking point is where your character is at the absolute lowest. They have hit rock bottom. The breaking point represents the final choice: give up or go on. And ideally you want your character to choose the go on option. So this is the final point before your character transitions into Z. Let's call it point Y then. So if we have our character who is childish and self-centered. The breaking point could perhaps be where they lose that person in their life and it really rocks them to their core, and they're thinking of, why am I even here? Why am I doing this? I should just go home. But they decide not to. This is the point where that character really has the final change into point Z. Most good books have this, you'll know this. Think of your favorite book. There's probably a point where the character is down in the dumps, but they pull themselves back up again. Right, so let's review the big picture. You have point A, where you have the character as they are at the beginning, with their flaw, with their unfulfilled potential, and kind of secure in their way of living. Then you have B, the inciting incident, something that happens that takes your character away from that type of life, away from that comfort zone completely. Then you have events that change your character progressively, C, D, E, blah, 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 blah. Then you get to point Y, your breaking point, where your character is absolutely down in the dumps. And that final decision to get past that rock bottom point and to go on is what leads your character to Z, which you should have identified from the beginning, because that is what you are working towards. So now your character has worked on that flaw, is a better person overall, and has fulfilled their true potential. So once again, this is a very simple way to do it. I'm not saying this is the way all character arcs should go. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving advice if you feel like you're really at your wit's end and you don't know how to write a good character arc. It happens to all of us, where you have a character who just, it isn't working. The character doesn't have enough growth, doesn't have enough depth. This could really be a good way to, it's really simple, but it is really effective. So that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope that this can help. If you use this type of character arc and you find that it works for you, please leave a comment below. I'd love to know that this is actually working for people. So yeah, I hope that this could be useful. And as always, you can find me on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. All the links are listed below. And then I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye! Oh, and also, remember to hit that subscribe button down there if you want weekly writing advice videos and tons of bonus content. I am making a bonus video as we speak. And if you want a notification to your inbox as soon as I upload, then you also have to ring that little bell down there.